If you enter the phrase Putin's double into Google, you would get hundreds of thousands of results. The internet is replete with conspiracy theories about the doubles of the Russian president. In this issue of Histographics, we will find out if there really is any reason to believe that Putin is not who he claims to be. And we will also figure out what these conspiracy theories are talking about and why people love to believe them. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin first took over as president on December 31st, 1999. Then he was 47 years old. And at the time of this video, in 2021, he still holds this post. The more time that passed, the more doubts arose about the fact that the country was ruled by the same person. Rumors about the presence of doubles have been circulating from the very beginning of Putin's presidential career. For example, the director of the Federal Protective Service of the Russian Federation, Evgeny Morov, announced back in August 2000 that there were no doubles and their creation was not planned. It is also true that Putin himself said that it was still not planned in 2020. According to him, such proposals have repeatedly come from the inner circle. Putin was offered to use doubles for public appearances in connection with terrorist threats from Chechnya, but as the president himself said, he refused such an opportunity. Nevertheless, among fans of conspiracy theories, especially in the Russian-speaking segment of the internet, there are a huge number of attempts to argue that the president still has doubles. Moreover, in their opinion, the real Vladimir Putin has long been dead, and the country is ruled by his various clones. As evidence, supporters of this position cite the appearance of the president, namely how the face of the head of state has changed throughout the entire term. The conspiracy theorists emphasize that the face of the real Putin had movable eyebrows and almond-shaped eyes. But this man, in their opinion, was killed in the late 1990s. One of the doppelgangers was named Talker for his ability to speak publicly. Conspiracy theorists claim that it was he who spoke on the annual direct lines with the population from 2013 to 2015. When Talker needs rest, Putin Udmurt enters the arena. Conspiracy theorists named this potential double of the president because of the external similarity with the Finno-Ugric ethnic group called the Udmurts. Conspiracy theorists consider this option the least successful because of the low similarity. Another imaginary double was named Kukma, after the president of Ukraine. Theorists claim that he was spotted in 2015 while meeting with the former president of Kazakhstan, Almazbek Atabeyev. This specimen differs from the rest of the copies by an unusually plump chin and nervous twitching of the lower extremities. Also, the chin features a double called Diplomat. This character has a more youthful look. In addition, Diplomat is able to adequately hold an international meeting. According to conspiracy theorists, this particular version of Putin was spotted on March 5, 2015 at a meeting with Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. The banquet double is used for other purposes. This is a sociable version of Putin, which is used for reporting and photographs with the public, presumably spotted on March 8, 2015 at an International Women's Day reception. Another unsuccessful specimen was named Shiner due to a blue hematoma on the cheekbone. This version of the president appeared in 2010, but due to poor similarity, it was not used later. The face shape of these copies of the president also varied from square to round. Another theory is that Putin was not killed in the late 90s, but died in the mid-2000s. According to this theory, Putin was diagnosed with spinal cancer in 2003, and a horde of twins appeared after his death in 2007. Because they were not well prepared, the pseudo-Putin stepped down from power in 2008, giving way to Dmitry Medvedev, and for the next 4 years, the doubles polished their skills of imitation of the Russian president. This is confirmed by the confession of the president's ex-wife, Lyudmila Putina, who allegedly gave an interview to the German newspaper Die Welt. The former wife of the head of the Russian state allegedly claims that her real husband has long been dead, and the divorce was a salvation from a clone. So that she herself does not blur out anything superfluous, a double was also prepared for her. However, no such information or publication was found directly on the newspaper's website. Another argument of the conspiracy theorists is that when he met Angela Merkel, Putin used the services of an interpreter, although he himself must be fluent in German since he served in the former German Democratic Republic, GDR. Also, as the conspiracy theorists note, the head of state demonstrated ignorance of the economy and was confused by his own decrees. In addition, the observed rejuvenation of Putin's face occurs during this period. These observations have some objections, but we will come back to this a little later. In the meantime, consider another theory, which says about the substitution of Putin already in early childhood. This hypothesis was put forward by the Russian-speaking American political scientist Leon Weinstein. According to the official version, Vladimir Putin was born in Leningrad, but Weinstein claims that his real parents raised the future politician in a small Georgian village. He grew up in poverty, he was bullied by his peers, and his mom and dad mistreated him. As a result, the president grew up angry with all mankind and rewrote his biography from early childhood. There is, of course, no evidence of this theory, with the exception of rare video recordings of witnesses who already recognized him as a boy from Georgia. But Weinstein explains this by the fact that all the information was erased by the KGB officers. There is also a theory that Putin is a reptilian who came from another planet to enslave humanity. As evidence, the supporters of this hypothesis cite the example of a video in which the president's eyes have an oblong pupil like that of reptiles. In another video, the president allegedly flexes his leg unnaturally while he waits for journalists. According to the following theory, acting professionalism is required to plausibly imitate Putin. The conspiracy theorists consider the Russian actor Sergei Bezrukov to be an ideal person for this role. In their opinion, Bezrukov began to appear on the screen less often, and all because he had a more important task: to play the head of state. Proponents of this theory argue that since Sergei Bezrukov was very similar in his films to Sergei Yesenin, Vladimir Vysotsky, and even Jesus, it means that as the president, he would have succeeded with high-quality makeup. What arguments can be used to oppose all of these points? Let's start with how Putin's face changed. If everyone who's watching this video now looks at their old photos and videos, they too will also be able to notice changes. Facial expressions, foreshortening, lighting, and other moments can distort the shape of the face to the point of being unrecognizable. The shape of the earlobes is visually distorted depending on the tilt of the head, and the person himself changes with age, and even more so in such a stressful position as the president. In addition, there is evidence that Putin resorted to plastic surgery. In 2012, Dr. Pukov Alexander said that he personally knew the doctor who operated on Putin. A year earlier, the Finnish plastic surgeon Rolf Nordstrom, based on visual facial analysis, concluded that Putin, then Prime Minister, had resorted to plastic surgery. The doctor noted that most likely, Putin was injected with a fatty filler in the cheekbones and nasolabial folds to smooth out wrinkles. In addition, due to Botox, eyebrows were raised and wrinkles were removed from the corners of his eyes. A facelift was also performed, as indicated by a slight flubbiness in the chin. As an argument, it is often suggested to pay attention to Putin's watch. Previously, it was on the left hand, then moved to the right. However, firstly, there are not enough such observations to draw any statistically significant conclusions. And secondly, it could have been done to please a good shoot, or the president simply wanted to change his image. As for the argument about not knowing the German language, it can be said that language skills are lost without long practice. After all, the president served in Germany from 1985 to 1990. Memory also weakens with age. In addition, political motives can be traced here. Many leaders of states, even if they know a foreign language, prefer to speak through an interpreter in order to emphasize the importance of their country and language. Some conspiracy theorists added knowledge of the English language as an argument, given that Putin had never learned it. However, in the modern world, in order to learn a few phrases in English and read them off a piece of paper, special skills are not required. Moreover, according to all the speeches, one can conclude that the president speaks English much worse than German. In 2020, the topic of Putin's twins was often raised on the internet due to the self-isolation of the head of state during the quarantine. Internet users have suggested that Putin is hiding in his bunker, where he takes turns getting in touch with his double. The arguments are the same, the dissimilarity of the face in different video messages. In fact, conspiracy theories about doppelgangers of famous people are nothing new. All celebrities, at the slightest change in appearance, are suspected of having doubles: actors, musicians, and politicians. And even in ancient times, it was often possible to hear that a king or a queen had been replaced. True, due to the lack of video filming at the time, we cannot receive documentary evidence. But the close attention to potential Putin doubles is most likely due to a radical change in the image and political course of Russia. If we compare the insecure Putin of the late 90s and the later tough politician who categorically dictates the rules of the game in the international arena, many questions really arise. And in order to somehow explain this, people come up with conspiracy theories about doubles. And yet, there are real Putin doubles as well. These are not political toys of the Kremlin, but ordinary real people who, due to genetic factors, simply have a similar appearance. Sławomir Sobala, from the Polish city of Wrocław, is perhaps one of the most similar counterparts. Polish Putin, because of his similarity, is constantly invited to participate in various theatrical performances in the role of the Russian head of state. In addition, a man similar to the President of Russia is depicted in a painting by the Dutch artist Jan van Eyck. The canvas entitled The Arnolfini Portrait was created in 1434, and it confirms that similar people live in different eras, unless the painting depicts an immortal reptilian. And yet, the existence of similar people, although it does not prove the existence of twins, suggests the possibility of their use. Do you think we could distinguish the real Putin from the double if the Russian government decided to use replacement tactics? Leave your opinions in the comments. Give us a like and do not forget to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss all the fun.